guys, welcome to your How to Get My Middle Splits routine. I'm a certified, experienced, registered yoga trainer, and I'm here to help you achieve those middle splits efficiently and safely. If anyone is promising you that you can get these super quick, I'm here to break it to you, that's not true. Basically, you just need to be consistent. I would recommend doing this 3 times a week at least, if that is your goal, achieving those middle splits. Today's routine is going to be efficient, so it's not super long, which will allow you to be able to do this regularly and get the results you're looking for. Today's class, I'm working with 2 yoga blocks. Now, if you don't have yoga blocks, I would suggest grabbing pillows, books, or a chair to help you out. I do think the props will help you in the end game achieve those middle splits. So this class is gonna start with some dynamic stretching, and then we'll move into some holds. Dynamic meaning it will be moving. Now, if you're in a cold climate, I would suggest putting the heat on a little bit, or maybe running in place and getting your body temperature up. You don't really wanna stretch muscles if your body temperature is really cold. So with that being said, we're gonna get into it. So we're gonna get started with a deep squat, sometimes called Malasana or yogi squat. I'm gonna take my 2 blocks and stack them. So they're on the short setting. We're gonna set them horizontally on the ground, just right behind us. And then I'm gonna stand in front of the yoga blocks with my toes slightly turned out. And I'm gonna take a deep seat. So I'm gonna sit all the way down onto the yoga blocks. And then I'm going to stand up, trying to keep my spine nice and tall. So we're gonna do that a couple times here. You're dropping those hips low, and then you're standing up. I want your knees to be pressing wide. If you don't have the yoga blocks, you could be sitting on books, pillows, or a chair. Now, if this is easy, the way for you to quickly go a little bit deeper in those stretches is to remove one of the yoga blocks or one of your books, and you're dropping down even lower. Think of having maybe like a glass of water on your head. So you're trying to stay nice and upright, because if you lean forward, the water is gonna spill. And so nice and dynamic. We're moving up and down. Your next spot, if you don't need the props, is to completely remove your props. Sit your hips nice and low. Bring your elbows to the insides of your knees. Lift that heart up. And then standing up. So I'm gonna show this sideways. So what's important for form here is that your knee and the inside of your foot isn't caving in. So you use your hip strength, push your knees open as we lift up and down. Okay, I'm trying to send my tailbone down and bring my chest up. Let's do a couple more of these. It's also gonna help us bring our body temperature up. And like I said, we don't wanna stretch the muscles in a cold way. We want them to be nice and warm. It will just feel better, and it's also a lot safer. Try to draw those shoulder blades to your back. Woo, it's just feeling more like a leg workout, right? Okay, last one here. Dropping it nice and low, and we're just gonna hold it in this deep seat. Maybe take a little shift right and left. Good, good, good. So you're going to grab your blocks, your books, your chair. You could put your hands on a couch. I'm gonna bring my blocks up to a high setting and step my feet wide apart, so really wide. And we're gonna go side to side lunges. So my back is flat. I'm gonna walk the blocks over to the right, bend the right knee, keep the left leg straight. Walk the blocks over to the left, bend the left knee, keep the right leg straight. So you're gonna just take this side to side for me. Again, the knee that's bent, make sure it's not caving in. So use your hip strength to push your knee so that it tracks over the center of the foot. So as I bend into the left knee, my outer left knee is pushing out to the side. Good, and then the straight leg, you wanna not collapse into the arch of the foot. So push the weight into the outer edge of your foot, the pinky toe side of the foot. Okay, so to advance this, these blocks can go lower, but I want you to make sure if you lower the blocks and you're doing these side to side lunges that you're not rounding your back. So I want you to really straighten your spine. If you're not able to do that, bring the blocks higher, or maybe the hands go on a countertop or a chair. So make sure we're not here. Okay, so if we want to advance this, guys, we're lowering the blocks, or eventually you can get rid of the blocks. Remember, spine position, form number 1, and then get rid of the blocks. And we'll take it side to side. Keeping your core engaged is going to be really helpful here for keeping your back nice and flat. We're going to make one little switch. Turn your toes out. Good. Hitting those inner thighs, those groin muscles from a different angle. And then maybe if you want to keep going with it, you flex your straight leg toes up as we take this side to side. Good. Thinking of trying to drop your butt and lift your chest. This is really an amazing move for hip mobility, which is important not only for those middle splits, but also for some of our other exercises we do on the channel. Okay, let's take it one more time each way. Last one. Good, and then straighten your legs, stay nice and wide, toes forward, grab the yoga blocks or your books, put your hands on the blocks, and I want you to lean forward, drop your head, go down into a forward bend. So if you don't need the blocks and your hands are easily touching the ground, you can just move the blocks out of the way. If you can't touch the ground, keep the blocks, the book, whatever you're leaning into. Let your head drop down, pull your shoulders away from your neck. Stick your tush up to the sky. Good work, good work. Okay, soften your knees, roll it up, and we're gonna bring it all the way down to the ground now. So we're gonna go active butterfly. So let me show this to you sideways. You're gonna put the bottoms of your feet together. Then you're gonna put your hands behind your back, and you're gonna straighten your spine. Now I want you to use your hip strength and push your knees down towards the floor. As you do that, squeeze your tush. So think of this as like a glute exercise. So the way muscles can be released is actually engaging the opposite muscle group or the antagonistic muscle. So another way to think of it is like when you do a bicep curl, your tricep lengthens. So if we're thinking in relation to our inner thighs, we're engaging our outer hips to help release the inner thighs. Keep that spine nice and straight. Seal the pinky toe side of the foot together. I'm gonna show you this from the front. So pinky toe side of the foot together. Open up through the arch of the foot. Squeeze your glutes and try to push your knees down, but not with your hands. So not really like this. I really want you to use the muscles of your hips. I'm kind of shaking here, so I can tell that I'm really engaging. It's like an earthquake. Okay, do we feel that? I certainly do. Okay, we're gonna move into a straddle. So a seated straddle. You're gonna take your legs really wide. We don't need the blocks. Okay, so number one thing here is if your back is collapsing and you're like this, I want you to sit on something to get your back straight or put your back against a wall or a couch. So this couch is really helping me sit tall. Put your hands behind your back and straighten your spine. Push out of the floor and lift. Draw your shoulder blades together. Flex your toes, engage your quads. So although we're not moving and it's not dynamic, this is not passive stretching. This is active stretching. That's also gonna get those muscles warmer and easier to maybe like mold ourselves into that middle split. Okay, I want you to roll your thighs, the top of your thigh to the back of the room to help open up through that inner thigh. If you're able to keep your back super straight, then you can lean into it. But the minute you feel your stomach shorten, you've lost what we're going for. So I'd rather you be way far back and you're able to keep your spine straight. When you are ready to advance, that's where you'll go. When you lean forward, note if your knees roll in. We want to try to keep that external rotation. thighs spinning to the back wall. Okay, you guys, are you ready? We're gonna do frog pose. So, let's bring the legs back together, and we're grabbing our blocks. And if you don't have blocks, you can do this kneeling over a pillow. If you're really tight, you can stack the pillows. So I'll show you with the blocks. So I'm going to be kneeling over the blocks. If you have 2 blocks, you're gonna connect the blocks on the short end at medium height. So I'm making a long vertical line. If you don't have the blocks, you would simply take the pillow and put it in between your legs. That's what you're doing, guys. You're gonna straddle the blocks. There's no other way to say that. So you're gonna come kneeling over the blocks. The blocks are underneath your pubic bone. You're gonna walk those knees out, lower down onto the blocks. Now, if you get into this and you're kind of suspended in space, the blocks aren't touching you, then I would bring the blocks up higher in whatever setting higher. You wanna be able to release onto the blocks. Okay, your next option to go deeper is to take this to a flat block instead of a medium block. So then from there, I'm kneeling over the blocks, I widen my legs, and then I'm gonna lower down. I'm making a 90-degree angle with my legs. We've got my knees in line with my feet, and my ankles, I just said that, knees in line with feet, and knees in line with hips. So one thing to note is that the knee is to the outside of your glute, to the side of your hip, not really far behind you. So if you're kind of cheating, bringing the leg really far back just to get lower, don't do that. Try to keep the knees at the 90. Good. In this position, tuck your pelvis. So your abdominal muscles are pulling to your lower back. We don't have too much of a back bend here. And you're just resting on the blocks. Another really, really great way to get deeper into these middle splits is to relax. So when we're tense, we typically clench our muscles, and that's very contracting to the body. It is not lengthening. So if you're going for those middle splits, you also want to be in a more relaxed state. And sometimes being like really aggressive, trying to push your body further than it's ready for is also contracting to the body. So try to ease into it. Pay attention where your body is today and don't push it. You definitely don't want to overdo stretching. It's going to really put you way far behind if you get injured and have to, recover that. It's not what we're going for. Good. Okay, so we're going to bring it up. Hello, hello. Woo! And now we're ready. We're going to try for our middle split. So what I'm going to do is stack 2 yoga blocks. They are horizontal or vertical underneath me, and I'm on a high setting. If you don't have yoga blocks, I want you to do the same thing with pillows. Make some height. So it's similar to the frog. When we go into this, I want you to be supported. So this is where the blocks and the pillow will touch you. It's right against your body so that you don't have to hold yourself up. The reason this is important is it helps relax the muscles, release into it. If you're suspended in space, I find that the muscles grip and you don't go as far into the stretch. So don't think props are remedial or super beginner. They're not, believe me, they're not. Okay, so we're standing up. We're gonna do this. The blocks underneath the pubic bone. Your legs are gonna go wide apart until you're resting on the blocks. Now I'm finding that I'm not able to touch the blocks yet. If that's you, flip the block higher or grab more props, more pillows. So now I'm in this supported position and I'm gonna try to push the outer edge of my foot down into the ground. I've got a nice flat back, neutral spine. And then if you want, you can have your hands underneath your shoulders, or you can start to lower down onto your forearms, or potentially dropping that chest towards the ground. If you feel strain, if you feel discomfort, you want to kind of understand the difference when it's, okay, I'm pushing the stretch to like a red light. So you don't want to get to a place where you're in a red light. I don't want you to pull anything. So just back off, put a little soft bend in your knees, add more props. And every time you do this class, I've offered a lot of different levels, ways to make it easier or more intense. So just follow that, keep growing with it, and you will no doubtedly achieve that middle split. Good. Okay, we're gonna walk it on up. We're gonna walk your feet together and we're gonna take a seat. Woo! Awesome job, you guys. I really hope that this routine is helpful for you. And like I said, don't be afraid to use the props. They're gonna help you achieve that middle split. My name is Lindsay. This is Pilates On Demand, where we do it all. And I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. It's 100% free. It just lets you know when I have a new workout or flexibility or mobility class here on YouTube for you. I also have an exclusive membership that has even more workouts and flexibility routines. So if you want to check that out, there's a link for it below. You can click join now and get some information. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Let me know how this went for you in the comments. Take care, guys.